I jumped on the bandwagon, and it's pretty great. That's right, I did it. Although I'm still shooting this video on the Nikon Z6. That's right, everybody, happy 2022, and I have officially switched over to the Sony FX3, and it's been really, really great. 4K 60 is now the new kind of default no-brainer. I honestly don't even know if I've turned it off of auto white balance. I don't know if I should be admitting that, but even the auto ISO settings are really good on this camera. PP11, that S-Cinetone, just for run and gun, whatever I need, I can open up the camera, turn it on, hit record, get it in focus, and I've got a great image to work with. With this array of parts from Small Rig and Condor Blue, I'm able to accommodate pretty much any shooting scenario I'm likely to find myself in, including run and gun or interview style AB cam. This camera, this FX3 with the top handle, is really indispensable for that latter situation. When you're shooting an interview, it's so nice to not have to have an external audio recorder and have to sync it up in post. The cageless design with the quarter screws all over the side of the body and along the top, I was skeptical at first. I thought for sure that I was gonna wanna have a cage. I did get the Condor Blue, but I like how modular that cage is. Like, I don't have to use the whole thing if I don't want to. Usually I just end up using this here, the base plate on the camera, and then I like this top NATO rail with the accompanying handle. We'll show you that later. The other way I might rig this up is with this included XLR top handle. This is really nice, and I would highly recommend the extension piece from Condor Blue with the NATO rail along the top. Without that little extra piece there, this piece is really not long enough to mount a monitor to as well, and it just gets really chaotic. Sony, I am a little bit, we'll say I'm disappointed in your little design flaws, like the top handle and then the microphone port being just a little bit too wherever it is to prevent that screen from flipping nicely. You guys solved this problem on the A7 IV by doing a half microphone door, just a little one for the top, and then the headphone has its own door, and that totally should have been implemented here on this as well. Big disappointment there, unfortunately. Nothing to write this camera off for. I love all of the video-centric features, and it's been a joy to work with, and I don't really miss anything about my previous camera system. Right, so let's rig some of this up so you can kind of see what the camera looks like once it's really in action. Oh, let's try that again. All right, so as you can see, I've left a bit here to mount a monitor to. And what I really like about this Condor Blue top handle is that it has a remote trigger. So that actually has a wire that goes into the camera down here into the micro USB. Sometimes it's really nice when you're shooting handheld, especially, and kind of just on the fly. You could push this button here to stop recording, and your hand's already in the right place where it needs to be for the shot, as opposed to having to start it with that Atomos Ninja, reach up and actually touch the screen. The other thing that you may notice about the rig, the way that it's currently set up, is that it doesn't have a place for a microphone. Now, there are a lot of times where I'm just capturing shots and I'm definitely not going to use the audio. Let me show you how I set the camera up for a more interview style and show you how that XLR top handle looks. You could screw these down about hand tight and get a pretty good result. Especially for a configuration where you're really just kind of putting the camera on a tripod and you're never gonna really be holding it by the top handle other than just placing it into position. This XLR plugs into the first channel. It even has a nice little cable catch here. I should say too that this microphone was not included with the camera. This came off of an FS5. Pretty good mic, and it has a really short cable and it fits right in that cable catch. So one other thing is something like a wireless lavalier set. This is gonna clip to actually the back of this top handle. It has a nice little cold shoe mount, so that can just slide in, and then my cable fits into the other side of the cable catch, Really good job there putting two. This will go into the second input down here. And then on the other side of the handle is where you adjust all of your microphone settings. With that Condor Blue extension for the handle, there's enough room for me to put all of my hand on this camera and have this microphone clip to the back and still have room for a monitor. You could put it in a variety of places here, and it actually counterbalances the weight of the lens really nicely when you mount that monitor a ways back on the handle, and it still gives you plenty of room to wrap your hand around there. But yeah, this is a really nice run and gun situation as well. If you tighten everything down properly, or hand tight if you're just planning on putting it on a tripod, you've got two audio sources. You can even run a boom arm on a different XLR mic if you want to. The last thing that I want to show you guys is how I run this camera on a gimbal. Now, most of the time, if I'm using a gimbal, it means that I'm shooting the Real Estate Series QC flippers here in Charlotte.
We ended up
raising the roof.
Brother and sister duo Jay and Cree flip houses. If you aren't subscribed, we'll put a link over here or in the bottom. This lens right here, this is the Laowa 15mm f2. This is what you want when you're in the guest bathroom. This is what you want when you're in that room with no windows. This is what you want when you need light. This lens is just a tank. It's built solid metal. The declickable aperture ring is really nice. Although I like the conformation of the click as it goes into place. Just adjusting to shooting manual. Other than that, this lens has been a dream to work with, and this is what I primarily run on my gimbal setup. This is the DJI Ronin S, good old reliable. The other thing that I really have come to enjoy about switching to Sony is that some of these more nuanced features on products that I already own are now working. So for example, this cable here, when plugged into USB, now I can actually start recording from the gimbal handle, which is super nice. I have been missing this feature ever since I've owned this camera. I've never been able to use that feature, and it's always start recording and then do your thing. Now it's my hands are already on the grip, start recording, and then do my thing. It seems like kind of a nitpicky feature, but it's really nice that this has been available the entire time, and now I'm actually able finally to actually use it. So that's good. The only other thing I'll typically add to a rig like this is the monitor arm and the Atomos Ninja. And between those three rigs, I'm able to do everything that I do. So super versatile camera, really loving the fact that I'm not dependent on external shooting to actually capture 10-bit color. Pretty much any lens you want is available for E-mount. Overall, great camera setup. If you guys have any suggestions or questions or comments, leave them down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed seeing what I use for this year, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Maybe we'll do a what's in my camera bag, or what's in my camera case, or any number of other things. Maybe some of them are already done. Maybe you can just click right here. Maybe they're linked up here. I don't know. I don't know anything. I do know you should watch another video and like this one. Yeah, for sure. You should definitely do that.